Hello again guys, and welcome back to another Big Al Devlin video here at the House of Devlin, and this is another one of our Drink of the Gods drinking series where we do a taste and a review of a new mead. So I enjoy these videos very much and end up having a good time, and actually I'm celebrating today as well, so this bottle of mead that I've got here will be gone, so I need to get this review in quickly before we start drinking. So today I'm very pleased. I've actually got for you, as you just saw a sneak preview of it, a bottle of mead from the Lancashire Mead Company, which is a family-run mead company that produces very high quality mead. It's very well put together, and to be honest, that's really hard to describe. Like, what is a well put together mead? What makes it well put together? Well, you will know the difference when you've had a good quality mead and a sort of bog standard, you know, sort of supermarket mead or whatever. When you first start on those supermarket meads, or you know, sort of thing, that's what I started on, Harvest Gold Mead. Okay, it was the only one I could get my hands on. Mead is quite a hard drink to find, and it was, you know, at the time I thought, oh, this is delicious, this is really nice. But then I got spoilt because I managed to get, I actually was bought it as a gift, my hands on some real mead, as I would call it, which was actually from the Lancashire Mead Company, and I was like, wow, this stuff is like, yeah, this is, now I see the difference. And so that is the only way that I can really describe how you will know a top quality mead when you have one, is you need to go taste. You know, you need to go out there and taste mead for yourself. And when you have a high quality mead, such as this mead that I've got here, you will notice the difference. And it's the same with all alcohol, so it doesn't have to be with mead. I'm sure some of you have bought, for example, a £5 Super Saver bottle of wine, for example, down your local supermarket or corner store, and then maybe if you've been lucky enough to have something like a Saturn's wine, for example, which will cost you, you know, anywhere between probably an 80 and £100 a bottle, you know, for a small bottle at that. You know, you can tell the difference. You know, when you drink them, sometimes some people will be watching this will be like, nah, I can't really tell the difference. Alcohol's alcohol, you know. But when you drink to enjoy the drink, not to get drunk. That's a nice side effect, right? Getting drunk. That's a nice side effect of drinking. But when you drink, also to enjoy the drink. You know, like myself, they say it's bad to drink alone, but I actually enjoy drinking alone. I actually enjoy just drinking and enjoying the flavors and taking in the sort of the sort of ambience, so to speak, of the, that's the completely wrong word, but it's the only word I can think of, the ambience of the mead and stuff that I drink. I just want to have the full experience of the mead, and sometimes it's nice to do that by yourself, especially when you've got a high quality alcohol with you. A lot of whiskey drinkers are the same, for example, as well, but it is also nice to drink it with friends, and that's what we're going to be doing tonight. This is going to be mine. They can get their own stuff. They're drinking brandy, I think, but this is my bottle tonight. I'm going to enjoy this. It's one of their full-size bottles for the Lancashire Mead Company. You have seen them reviewed on here before, under the Drink of the Gods reviews. You've seen me review, for example, Freya's Mead. If I just put the light down quickly, okay, Freya's Mead, and that was a sample bottle that only contained, I believe it's 100 ml. Yeah, 100 ml, 10 cl. Okay, Freya's Mead, and that was a lovely mead, and it came in a pack of 3, and it was a lovely way to experience, you know, a range of different meads and get introduced into high quality meads at a fair price. But and it convinces you then to go all out and buy something more like this. Now, this is still not that expensive. You look at this and you might think, bloody hell, that looks fucking expensive, you know, especially when you're looking at it. I mean, don't judge a book by its cover, right? But I've got to say that this is probably one of the most beautifully presented alcoholic beverages that I've ever seen. It is absolutely gorgeous, this bottle. Do you not think? Look at that, the shape, the clarity of it, even the sticker. If I get some light onto it, you'll be able to see it's metallic writing, and you might just be able to see that little bubble sort of effect here. It's actually textured. They've got a textured label on their bottle. It's absolutely wonderful, beautiful presentation, and the mead itself obviously looks absolutely gorgeous. Look how clear and honey-like that looks. What I do like, you don't see it on that bottle, but what I do like is, you know, sometimes people bullshit you, right? In business and things like this, right? Businesses, they will feed you a load of shit, you know. They'll tell you a story, oh yeah, we're a family run company, but they're not, okay? You can tell this is a genuine family run company, because if Lancashire Mead Company is watching this, it's just something which I would say could be improved upon. I don't give a shit, okay? It really, I'm being pernickety here, but I'm just pointing this out to actually, you know, say that this definitely is a sort of a family run, very small business. When we look at the sample bottle, Freya's Mead, as we go round, can you notice that? The little difference in the height of the label on that side to that side. That label has actually been put on wonky. So they've not actually got big machines that kind of roll the bottle over the label and stuff to label it and put it on straight, or they, you know, have the, you know, so that's been put on by hand. And if you check the other bottles, they're similar. They're all sort of slightly different heights and that. They're, you know, hardly not noticeable really, but I've got an eye for that kind of thing. So as I say, that's kind of proof that you're dealing with a very sort of small, very passionate company that is trying to produce high quality. You can see the way they present their meads. They've put a lot of money in presenting their meads, and it's fairly priced. I think this costs like, don't quote me on this, but I think it cost me £22. Some of the others cost about 24, but you know, it may have been in the sale, but you're looking at £20 to £30 a bottle, 30 at tops, right? But you're looking at the low 20s if I remember correctly, and you know, that's a really fair price for 70 CL. That's a fair price. That's fine. I mean, you'd be spending that on vodka, probably a good vodka, easily, you know. So, and you'd be spending a lot more on a whiskey. That's for sure. So it's a decent price, and wine, as I say, top quality wine, you'd be spending over £100 easily, you know, up to £200 probably for, you know, good quality. Anything over that, you're probably getting ripped off, you know, and even at that point, you could argue getting ripped off. But you know, 20 quid, yeah, for top quality alcohol, that's a banging bargain, especially, as I say, with the way it's being presented. So they are obviously a company that takes pride in the product that they are producing, taking pride in the way they present the product. And I can tell you from having tasted their products before, and I've also tasted this the other day as well, I couldn't resist it. I had to have a little wee tipple. I can tell you from right here, right now, that this is a stonking good mead, a really good mead. Okay, it's been put together very well indeed. It's a good percentage, okay. Mead can go up to about 20%. I've never seen it anywhere near that, but it can go as low as 10%. Again, the weakest mead I've seen is 12%, and I can tell you that was not the most pleasant of meads. It was not how mead is supposed to be. Mead's supposed to have a little bit of a kick to it, and this is 14.5%. Okay, 14.5% is a good sort of percentage for mead, because you do drink it in volume. So you don't want it, you know, like 40% like vodka, for example, where, you know, if you're drinking, you know, half a litre to a litre of that, yeah, that's gonna, yeah, it's doable. I used to do it at university, drink a litre in 20 minutes, but you know, now that I'm older and I enjoy my alcohol, back then I used to drink to get drunk, if you know what I mean. Now I drink to drink. I drink to enjoy the drink, and enjoy the flavours and the experiences that you can have by enjoying a good alcohol. Okay, and as I say, 14.5% is a good sort of level where, yeah, it's going to get you tipsy by the end of the bottle. You're going to have a good night, but you're not going to be too hungover either. But you're also not going to drink this and go, oh, get the second and third bottles out like I've got over there, so I'll be reviewing another time. Hopefully I don't get to that point tonight where I actually drink the second bottle or a third bottle. I certainly hope not, because I do want to share these with you guys, because they're different meads to this. I bought 3 different meads. I think one was Four's Mead, and I forget the other one, but anyway, you'll be seeing them very soon. Now, this mead is called Skaadi mead. okay, or Skaadi's mead. Okay, now the Lancashire Mead Company have a habit, and I love it as well, it's fantastic, of naming their mead after pagan gods. Okay, specifically what most people would describe as Viking gods, Nordic pagan gods. Skaadi was a giantess, which was just a tribe essentially of gods in Nordic paganism, and she's the goddess of winter, who lives in the highest reaches of the mountains where the snow never ever melts. She's a very avid huntress, uses a bow and is very accurate with it, and she actually is known to use snowshoes and skis also, believe it or not. So there is a goddess who utilizes skis in Norse mythology. Not many people know that. Now, this particular mead is what is called a hydromel. Don't worry, that means nothing to me either. There's melomels, hydromels, it's just the type way that it's made. But basically it means that it's a pure honey mead. Okay, that means only honey, and honey alone is being put in here, along with the yeasts that are required to ferment the honey. Only honey has been put in here. Okay, there's been no other things like fruit put in there or anything like that to give additional flavors. This is a very traditional mead in that sense, that the taste comes from the honey and the honey alone, and it is described as a medium sweet mead. Now, I've done this a bit before in the previous video, but you know, a lot of people assume that you know what medium, dry and sweet mean. And I mean, I knew, for example, I like red wine. That was my thing before I got into mead. Red wine. I didn't drink it often because the headaches you get off them, it's horrible. And I would only ever have like a half glass or a glass at a time, and normally the wine would go bad by the time I came for another glass, because honestly I didn't drink that much of it. But I did enjoy a really nice glass of very dry, very moody, oaky red wine. Loved it. And so I knew that's what I liked, but I didn't know what the term dry or oak or whatever all that meant. I just knew what it tasted like, and it'd be the same amongst a lot of you. A lot of you will know that you like dry wine, sweet wine and medium wine, or you might not know what those mean. You just say it at the bar because, well, yeah, just give me the house wine please, or whatever. I'm just going to go over the terminology quickly so you understand completely what I mean when I say medium sweet or dry. Okay, so the best way to look at it is to look at what a dry wine is, and this is a form of wine. This mead is wine that's just being made with honey rather than grapes. Okay, it's wine made in countries where grapes don't grow, essentially, hence why it's typically made in places like Scandinavia and stuff where the climate's too cold for grapes, but there you can find plenty of honey and bears like eating the honey. But anyway, yeah, that's the origin of mead. Okay, so it's a honey wine, and that's what sometimes it's described as. So when you describe mead, you can literally just replace, every time I use the word mead or use the word honey, you can replace those words with wine and grape. Okay, if it helps your understanding of wine also, then fantastic. Okay, so a dry mead is a mead where, if you imagine pouring honey into your mouth, you know, like you got a jar of honey and you're pouring it into your mouth, or you stick your finger in and lovely. That sounds delicious just thinking about it. But imagine putting a load of honey basically in your mouth, okay? And imagine the experience that you'll have. You'll notice the texture of the honey. You'll notice the thickness or the thinness of the honey, and you'll also notice the taste of the honey, which of course is very sweet. Honey is very sweet normally. Okay, there are some wild honeys that are less sweet, but you know, typically honey is very sweet. Now imagine that experience of honey, but with the taste of the sweetness removed. Just imagine the texture and the feeling in your mouth. That is what a dry mead tastes like. It tastes like honey with the sweetness removed and replaced with a simple burn. A burn that burns around here. Okay? And so that's what a dry mead is. And it's the same with a dry wine, for example. Replace the sweetness of the grape with a literally a sort of dryness and a burn, ultimately. Okay. Now this, and I've had it the other day. I had a little taste of it. So the description of the mead being medium sweet is both my own conclusions and the conclusions of the the people who sold it. That's how they describe it. But of course, no review and tasting of any drink, but especially mead, is complete without a proper tasting. Now, I originally used to taste the mead directly from the bottle and drink the mead directly from the bottle. That's what I like to do. So I do the same with wine. I know it's not particularly elegant or anything like that, but I don't really like drinking wine from a glass. I will do it. I'm happy to do it actually, but I just prefer drinking it from the bottle, providing the foil has gone, because that cuts your lips. It's horrible when there's foil on there. But if you can drink it from the bottle, I do enjoy drinking it from the bottle. But mead is one of those drinks where you have to drink it a bit like English tea. They say English tea is better in bone china than any other sort of cup or mug or whatever you can think of. You have to drink it from China to make it the full experience, to enjoy the flavour to its max. And it's the same with mead. Mead must be drunk not from teacups but from a horn. Okay, and I'm a true believer in this. Okay, so I've only just put a little bit in there because I know what it tastes like, and this is just a reminder so I can give you the taste, and you can see the taste for yourself, if you can see taste. Yeah. Okay, so it's definitely a medium sweet mead, because in a sweet mead what you do is you have that immediate hit of the honey taste straight away. Your mouth is drowning in honey, and then there's an aftertaste for about 10 to 15 seconds of a even more overpowering sort of texture of caramel with honey and stuff. Oh, it's a lovely taste to have a sweet mead. This is a little bit more medium sweet because you do get that initial taste of honey, but it's a little bit more delayed. It doesn't hit you straight away. It takes about 2-3 seconds for you to realise there's honey in your mouth, and there's a burn with it instantly. Also, the burn is actually in my mouth actually rather than down here. It's probably because I swiveled it around in my mouth. If I just drank it like most people would, you'd have the burn here instead, or in your throat. And this will do my flu that I've got at the moment loaded good. Burn the buggers out. Smoke them out. That's what I'm going to do with my flu. Burn it out of me with mead. But in fact, actually, if any of you guys are interested, I normally use absinthe for medicinal purposes. When one has a cold, absinthe does a great job. Not a lot though. Be careful how much you drink of that stuff. That stuff's strong. But anyway, it's a medium sweet mead. It's a beautiful presentated mead, beautiful colour, and if you are a puritist when it comes to mead, you like your mead to taste like mead, this is the drink for you. If you enjoy, for example, a slightly dry cider, or you enjoy white wine, again, this will be the mead for you, because it's sweet like a white wine is sweet, like a dessert wine. And in fact, it lends itself very well to an alternative to a dessert wine. Put that on the table with your cake and stuff like that, and enjoy yourself, guys. That's what I'd say, and that's my review. Really, it's a very good wine. Sorry, not wine. That is a wine, I suppose, but it's a very good mead. I very, very much enjoy it, and I very much recommend the Lancashire Mead Company and Scotty's Mead to you guys. It's an excellent product, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I'm about to. I've got to go, guys. People are here. I've just heard them arrive. Thank you. Bye-bye.